Hi, greeting to all of you. For those of you watching from home around the world, we just come to you again today and to greet you in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and want to welcome you once again to our new program with this new edition today of this great program called Sit and Talk. We thank God for giving an opportunity to be here today, and we were looking forward to this moment, and here it is. We are here. So we are here, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about, once again, the Bible. We just hope that and trust that everything has been well for you, your family, and I hope that, from health perspective, that everybody is feeling well and everything. And as we are entering toward winter, also toward the end of this year, you know what that means. There's going to be a lot of festivities going on. It's already started, and so we are approaching toward the big celebration here in the United States, Thanksgiving, the third Thursday of this month of November. And then following that, there's going to be Christmas coming here at the corners. We're going to see, we're already seeing that, a lot of preparation being made. Some of the places, they already put on all the lights and, the decoration, Christmas decorations already out from the attic, wherever that you store them, and so that you can make preparation for this great events. Unfortunately, I must tell you that a lot of people are celebrating Christmas, but they do not know why they're celebrating it. They do not know the reason for the season. They do not know the Christ, of Christmas. They only enjoy the festivity, from a aesthetic point of view, and the beauty of it. But in reality, from a spiritual, position, they really don't know. They just, go with the flow and enjoy what's going on. Well, sometimes it's all right, but the problem is, the big problem is in this earth is living your life without Christ. And that's what we're all about. We're trying to bring to you some perspective, concerning the reason why, all these reason we are here in this earth, and the things that really we enjoy, but we must also take time to give, reverence to the one that actually brought all these things. Like I've said before, that all these things that we see in nature around us, that we enjoy today, they all been here before we came in. It's not something that actually while we're here, and then we place a special order and then bring it to us into this earth. We call on heaven and say, hey, I would like to place an order on the earth, and please, this, and then you have the shipment made, and then we're expecting in the next week or so, whatever, and then it came in. That's not this at all. What happened here, everything that we see around us, everything that we can enjoy today, even the littlest of things, they all been here before we came in. Why? Because God made sure that before we came, that everything would be, our disposal. So not only to enjoy, but also an idea to remind us of who put all these here together. We came here last, as far as part of the creation, but that doesn't mean we are the last of creation. We are kind of like, in a sense, God's number one priority, because like I said, we talk about this concerning sin, that sin is something that only attributed to human being. Only human being can sin. Only human being can be called a sinner. And so whatever we do, it actually affects us in both a physical way and also a spiritual way. We just have to make sure that we get in a position in our life where we always be right with God. And all the lessons that we had before, they actually brought us to the place where we can talk about this right now. As far as, what is it that we need to learn to know what's right? What is it that, what's wrong to avoid it, and things that we did wrong, so we can, reprove from that. And also we got to find a way to keep things right in our lives, so we can keep relationship going. We talk about also the idea that I'm talking about some previous way back. The idea of if you sin, in a sense where you have no regard for sin, and then what happened though, the closer you get to sin, the closer also you get to death, because the Bible says the wages of sin is death. Eventually everybody's going to die. We do not know how, every one of us is going to die, and but we know for sure that we're going to die, but we don't know when everybody's going to die. And so this is the thing right here. We are dealing with a sin problem on this earth. We talk about our representative, Mr. Adam, if I may call him this way. He was the one that represented us, in the garden, and then so brought us all these things. Last time when we were together, we talked a lot about, where exactly sin came from, and we talk about also how sin got to the place where it was, and also we talk about why. We talk about the two specific reasons. First of all, we talk about that because of God's sovereignty, He'll allow to have both, the problem and the solution at the same time. In other words, God allowed that in the garden there are different types, different kinds of foods for people to eat, and so to enjoy. In that place also there was the food of life, eternal life. But it seems that the man did not know, was not aware of it. It was too late after he ate the forbidden food, which is the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. So he couldn't go back. God had to put, restriction there, so he couldn't go back and to partake to the fruit of life so that he would have life. We talk about a lot of, what ifs, in a sense, like what if they were to find out about the fruit of life and they ate it before, would that prevent them from, dying, after the fact they ate the fruit anyway. So we came to the conclusion that in life, the things that we do, it's kind of like, better to prevent it from happening. But those things that they can prevent from happening, from a medicine standpoint, they use what we call vaccine, which is giving you a certain type of doses in order to prevent certain type of viruses and out there to enter your system. That can happen, but I don't know for sure. I'm not a medical scientist. I cannot tell you whether or not if you take medicines before you get sick, would that prevent sickness from happening. We use that example. If we were to take 2 Tylenols or one of those over-the-counter pills like Advil or Tylenols or ibuprofen, or some of the acetaminophen, or all those type of things that you can take for headaches. If you take 2 about like 500 milligrams, would that prevent you from ever having headaches? I said, I don't know. I'm not sure that could be the case, because I know it's better to prevent than to cure. So I'm not sure exactly. We also talk about the situation where everything in life, speaking of the reason why God actually placed the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil there in the Garden of Eden, or in other words, the fruit, the sin there, if you will. It's just because the fact that everything in life comes with pair, or maybe we can say that way, everything has its own opposite side of it. So we see that if there is right, there should be left. If there is good, there should be evil. If there is God, there's also the devil. As there's male, there's female. As there's life, there's also death. So we see the same place where we find the problem, the solution is also in the same place too. You may not be able to discover it at the moment, but solution is always around the same place. So we talk about that. We also went through a series of verses, chapters in the Bible, especially the book of Romans. We read from even chapter 1 all the way to chapter 8. And so we discuss a lot in great details the situation of sin, because the thing is we come to the conclusion that sin, we have a sin problem. Remember when we introduced this topic here, the origin of sin, we have a sin problem, a sin dilemma, if you will. We talk about all this. Now we come to a place where we started what we call freedom from sin, freedom from spiritual sin, if you will. Last time we talked a little bit about it. We introduced a verse, and the verse was let me see if I can find it, and it's found in from John chapter 8 verse 32, to talk about the first step to freedom from sin dilemma. John chapter 8 verse 32 tells us that, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So this is a verse that it's a good verse for all of us to memorize, because when you understand that, it keeps you, your eyes on the ball, so to speak. It gives you perspective of what it is in life, because remember, I tell you that sin's going to kill us eventually. Where we see that throughout the time that we've been studying concerning sin, that even from a physical standpoint, we see people have routine they do, they exercise, the kind of thing they eat, the things they don't do. So that will prevent them to accumulate some type of problem for their health, for their well-being. People want to live longer. They want to live a healthy life. They don't want to be battered with sickness. Nobody likes going to the hospital. And I think those who actually work in the hospital, even though they may have that calling over, their lives, but they really would rather not to be there, even though they enjoy, taking care of their patients. But that doesn't mean they really like being, around sick people. And it's very difficult, because we have to have people that help us with the situation of sickness, and when we are sick, when we're having, problems like that with our health. So we have doctors, different type of doctors, different branches of medicine. They are working on us in order to make us better. Because if that were not the case for us to be better, then whatever it is that we have, whatever discomfort we feel in our system, in our body, whether from outside, or inside of us, medicine right now is so advanced in our generation that they can even work in your head, just kind of like, open up and just, do some work in there. There are times they wouldn't be able to do it. Whatever is going on in your head, they can only, treat it with some of, external medicine, and oral medicine, that kind of stuff, so that way they can give you some relief, until whatever happens. But right now it's not the same. Things change, over the years, where they could, work in somebody's head. There's not a part in your body that, they cannot perform certain type of operation and everything. To tell the truth, that's one of the reasons we have the privilege of medicine, and so advanced, so great, so beautiful, that people abuse that. The way I say they abuse, it's not so much of the fact that they do it because there has been a problem or whatever. It's just because they want to do it for their own, selfish way, to actually prove something. Like, for instance, you have people who've gone through, like what we talk about. We're going to be talking about this in a different, perspective later on, when we address those subjects concerning, sin, specifically some of those, sins that are like perversions, that kind of stuff. And so we're not there yet, but as I'm explaining some of the things concerning medicines today, how advanced we are in this thing, some people because of their selfish way and because of the fact that they have, good money. Because those things, they don't cost, like a penny. They really cost a hefty amount of money. So because they do have the means, so they utilize that, and so they could, perform certain type of operation in their body in order to change. You see people change their nose, they change, their eyes, kind of like, shape or whatever. And you have people who went under the knife to actually put some feeling, in some parts of their body, in their faces, and even in their posterior, if I would say something like that. And also we have people, which is the danger here, that actually go through the length to actually change their appearance as a man to become a woman, or vice versa, and a woman also to become a man. We are not going to get into details of this, but I can tell you this right now. This is kind of like an abomination before God. In a sense, it's not because you have the means to do something that means you can do it. And second of all, what is the moral, I would say the moral things in there? You have to consider this, and because what makes it an abomination is not because of the fact that you desire to do it. It is because of the fact that this was not part of the plan. See, whenever you introduce something that is outside God's plan, it becomes abominable. And so that thing that you do, it's the abomination. And so when a man or a woman has a desire to change, his physiology to make him look like a woman, and a man, and to women to make him like a man, even go to the length for women to actually, grow beard, and men, some of them also create a way so they can grow, breasts just like a woman. I mean, everything is perfect. It's beautiful the way we look at it. You can't even tell unless the person tells you the story. But these are really the big problem. We will be starting about it, not in a way, because like I said, my reason of being here, number one, is for the teaching of God's word. I mean, I cannot pick and choose just because I want to hurt somebody with, in some way, somebody's feeling, I should say. No, that's not the whole reason at all. That's not the point of this lesson at all. I mean, the reason we're here, if you did not know, the reason we have Sit and Talk, and that's one of the reasons we call this program Sit and Talk, is because we must talk about things that makes us uncomfortable. And then the way we can talk about it, that's in our way, the way we esteem them to be right or wrong, but in a way that, we see it in the light of the ones that actually created everything. I'm not a creator. You are not either. Like I said at the beginning of this program today, that everything that we are enjoying here at the moment, or we've been enjoying since we were born, they all been here before us. We didn't come with anything. So the Bible also says, according to 1 Timothy chapter 6, that when the time comes for us to leave, we will depart this earth with nothing. You know what I mean? We came completely naked. We will go out also completely naked. We wouldn't be able to bring anything. Whatever we accumulate on this earth, they're going to remain here. But there's nothing we can take with us. We didn't create anything. We didn't bring anything. We cannot have any claim over anything. We are all in the borrowed time, borrowed, services. We're supposed to be steward of this world. Whatever the part that you play in living on this earth, you're supposed to be a good steward. It's not about you. It's about Him that actually gives you what it is that you in your possession. And so everything's going to have to be returned back. Remember, they used to have this. It's no longer around because of the fact technology, a lot of things been introduced in the technology world, where right now, I mean, it used to be if you want to watch some type of movie, there's this company called Blockbusters. It used to be around, you know, where you would go and then rent a video. And then it changes from a video cassette to, you know, to a DVD. Then they introduce another one called Blu-ray, and I mean they're all still around, but they're not what the trend is today. Nobody goes out there and matter of fact, Blockbusters company is not around anymore. You know, they're all, you know, went out of business. The fact of the matter is because of the fact you have now you can stream everything online. You know, you got Netflix, you got Hulu, Prime, you got all kinds of other ways, you know, people want to access those kind of things. So that's what I'm saying. So now my problem is, from a personal standpoint, is I just ask that question very often, but I'm sure I probably know the answer. I just don't know if you have a better understanding of it. To me, because of the fact that we came so far when it comes to technology, you know, remember I just talked about medicine. Medicine is so advanced now that we have so many things available to us that we didn't have before. So I'm saying is, because of those things that are being improved, that are more efficient, you know, tools they have at our disposal right now, the question I'm asking, why life is not better? Why things is getting worse and worse? You know, I mean, look at food, for instance. You have so many doctors coming on television. As a matter of fact, they have programs called The Doctors. You know, you have these people, they're kind of like medical savvies. They're scientists, but still they cannot solve the way people eat. The problem here, the problem that people are meeting every day when it comes to food, to nutrition. Yeah, that kind of stuff. You have so many experts out there. You have nutritionists. You have a doctor. People have doctoral degree in this, you know, area only alone, to actually advise people how they can eat and you know, to have better life. You know, I mean, you have expert in fitness. You have all these people like expert in medicine when it comes to your heart, all kinds of things. But yet, what happened though? Life is not being improved. Things are worse. We see people that used, you know, like let's say 20th centuries, people used to live longer. And then guess what happened also? There are certain type of diseases that they didn't know. You know, even today, you know, you have this medicine that's so advanced, but we cannot improve the quality of life. All these things are available. Cannot improve the quality of life. Now, you know, even when we talk about transportation too, we see that people who get so much comfort in their own way of being transported from point A to point B, you know, that kind of stuff, but the quality of life still not improve. It's still getting worse and worse, and then every day people are dying with the different type of diseases and that kind of stuff. But if you want to sum up all these things, the reason all these things are happening is because of what we're studying right now. It's because of this problem that we have called sin. Sin is a manifestation of all the problems that we see, you know, around us, and the things that eventually you get to the point where you enter the realm of death itself. Because, like I said, you cannot avoid it. I cannot stress that enough, that every single day we're moving toward our death day, you know, and so with that, I'm saying it not so much to bring fear, as what's going to happen tomorrow, but so much as for you to start playing games with your life. You got to start, thinking about what's important now. For many of you, even myself, right now, I think about that a lot, that there was a time I was 15 years old, then I became 16, I got another birthday, 17, 18, 20, and then I keep on counting, and then I realized my number is no longer in the calendar. I already passed that. For many of you, you are a testimony of what I'm saying right now, and it was such a joy that that I can find my age number in the calendar, but now it's no longer, because it's already past that. You know what that says to you? You are getting older and you're older, and then what happened? Your body is starting getting decaying. You're not the same person that you were 20 years back. For some of you 10 years back or 11 years and everything. Some of you in your life right now, you are going through some health difficulties, and my God, my heart rather goes out for you, and hope that you find not only peace and comfort. For some of you, you already have the bad news that there's not going to be any improvement. It's going to get better. Some of you, they already tell you how many around days you might be around. So some of you already have the news that you got to go get things in order, trying to enjoy whatever days that allow you to live, because it's coming, because you know that you know that. And so I know some cultures in the world, I don't know but I think some people already done that, and that's the whole purpose about having a life insurance. It's the fact that you already know that this is going to happen, so you make provision so when it happens, so things can go smoothly. We don't want to have another headache. Don't want to leave the family stranded with a lot of uncertainty, what should do, what they should not do, and whatever. And so some of those cultures outside United States and other, most of the undeveloped countries, they have this idea where somebody, when they pass 50 and they're heading towards 60, even some of them earlier than that, when they look at what's going on around them, they already have somebody in the neighborhood, like a carpenter or somebody like that, those who work with woods and everything. I'm not sure exactly what their names are, but those who put together things. And so they already check with them and pay them money to build their caskets. And then the sad thing is, which I found very troubling in some ways, very depressing, when they have them, the person who actually put the casket together don't keep them in their shop. They ship them, or they take them home to that person's home. Guess where they put it? They put exactly right there. Some of them, they put on top of inside under the roof, and so where they sleeping in the bed and they're looking at the casket up there, and they can see it every time. Every time they go to bed, they see it up there. Because they don't put it out on the floor, so that way nobody tripped on it or whatever. They have a little home, but they could put it up there. And so this is kind of like a reminder where they're going to be put, in his final days, when the day comes where they're going to be put him or her in there and then finally go. I think this is kind of like a depressing, like I said, because every day you're looking at these things, it tells you exactly what's coming. And so, my friend, like I said, I don't see good news in what I'm saying to you, and you might find this a little depressing talking about it, but the reality is, it's coming. And I'm talking to you in such a way to not to scare you, but to let you know you need to be aware of that and be ready, not only from a physical standpoint or emotional standpoint, but you have to be ready in the fact that you be right with God. Because of the sin problem, my friend, we are in a position where our future after death, it's in danger, it's in jeopardy. And there's only one way, and I know that I talked about that last time, and the time before that, some of the videos that if you go back and watch, you will see that there's no reservation that can be made at the gate. You are not allowed to be purchasing your ticket to enter God's dwelling at the gate. Matter of fact, you wouldn't have that privilege to do so. You know what I mean? Because you would know when you get there. And so the only time that you can make provision or reservation, if you will, it's by doing it in advance, which is right now, today. I have told you, in my case, I have done that more than 30 years ago, you know, because I have come to the realization that I needed to do that based on what's being available to me concerning the gospel and my salvation, so that I have made the reservation. Right now, I know exactly that I'm assured. You know, just like you go to the link to assure you, even the things that you have, you put insurance on them, because you know nothing is certain in this life. You know, your car can get on fire. You go out there, you get into an accident. You don't have money sitting around. Even those who have so much money, they wouldn't want to get into, you know, situations. So what they do, they pay, you know, insurance. So that way that will cover whatever the problem that may happen, you know, with the car or the vehicle that they're driving or they're using. They do that with their things in the house. They insure the house. They put things in storage, you put insurance on it. You buy jewelry, you put insurance on it. So this is just in case if it's been stolen or something happened, you can have your money back. You don't want to lose. It's a principle that you guys understand very well. Okay, you go to the place, you even when shipping something right now, they ask you to put a little bit extra. Why? To protect it. That's insurance. In case if something were to happen, then you know you can go back and, you know, claim it. You buy a phone, you know, the same thing. They put insurance on it just in case while using it, it dropped, it fell into a canal, or you know, you lost it, or maybe it fell, it cracked and, you know, damaged. You put insurance on it. You buy TV, everything that you want to possess, you can put insurance on it. Even right now, for those of you who are pet lovers, you can put insurance on your pet, so that way everything can go smoothly later. I just don't understand why it's so different. You know, for me to come to you right now and asking you to put insurance, you know, in your life. I'm not talking about the type of insurance that you purchase so they can bury you.